I wanted to record a quick video and talk about how we are approaching a completely different era. Something that like 10, maybe even just 5 years ago, we wouldn't be able to imagine. If you are like me and you understand some of the things that are actually happening, like under the surface, so you are not only knowledgeable about the things that the mainstream media shares, but you also know the things that it's hiding from us. And what's interesting is that, like, just to give you a few examples, in America I got this from a third party. I am not watching news even from my own country, so of course I wouldn't watch from the US. But what I heard is that they were showing UFO on the mainstream media, in the news, like as if it was something normal, when just 10 years ago people would laugh at you if you were talking about UFO, and now it was something completely normal. Like, that's just ridiculous. And what I want to say is that these kinds of things, these kinds of news will start to get shared throughout the mainstream media, throughout, I don't know what, social media in general. And something that was till now considered as a complete conspiracy theory, or something that was just completely unbelievable and couldn't be right, like how could they on top do something like that to us? Like many people would ask, or that wouldn't be possible and stuff like that. Things like that are going to get like shared around, and like the truth is actually going to start going around as if it was something normal. And so we are approaching something that we have never seen before. Also, natural disasters are approaching, as you can actually see, it's already happening, and many things are going to change. Like, the things as we know them are going to be completely different. And so this video will be super short and super quick. These are just a few things that I wanted to mention, and I don't know what will happen. That's the problem. Like, the system might collapse, which might be a good thing, and it would probably be a good thing because it's just horrible, like what they are doing to us. When you think about it, we are complete slaves. Like, from the point that we are born, we get to the education system and we are already slaves. And throughout our adulthood, we are also slaves. We are constantly working for the system, and they are just draining us. They are giving us all the distractions, like TV shows, videos on YouTube now. This is the big thing. Like, it's not TV anymore, it's more like the social medias such as YouTube. And those distractions are basically working in a way that we are distracted and we don't have the time to think about ourselves, to think about the world, and mainly to start like being critical about the system that we live in. They are brainwashing us from the point of our birth, as I mentioned. And this system is made in such a way that it's just crazy. It's almost fascinating how well it was made. But right now, like, many different channels on the YouTube are not getting cancelled, which, if you were to say just one simple word which was connected to anything, you would get cancelled. Whereas now people are starting to openly talk about, as I've mentioned, the things that were till now considered as conspiracy theories, whereas now it's something normal. It's something that people actually talk about. Another great example is vaccinations. Like, if you were someone who didn't get vaccinated, you were basically completely discriminated. And we are supposedly living in a democratic environment, state, and even though it's supposed to be democratic, we were pushed like slaves. We couldn't go to shops, we couldn't travel, we couldn't do anything. We had to have those masks on like animals, and we were forced to do it. We didn't have any other option. So what's democratic about it? And the worst part is that people who got vaccinated were hating on the people who didn't, when in the end it was just our choice. Like, they were supposed to be protected, so why were they scared that we didn't get vaccinated. And even worse is that people who got vaccinated are now experiencing the symptoms or the side effects of that. Like you can constantly see in Slovakia, I'm from Slovakia, I can constantly see like in the news how people are dying, like young people, sportsmen are dying from heart problems and stuff like that, when in the past it was something unimaginable, something that just wasn't happening. But now it's happening on daily basis. People are just dying as if it was something normal. But no one connects it to vaccinations. And of course I'm not saying that it's only due to vaccinations, because just the food in general, plastics, microplastics, the Wi-Fi, the chemtrails, everything is connected, and it's not just one thing. But right now I'm talking about vaccinations, and they are working like a booster. So like people who got vaccinated and if they had any kind of problem beforehand, it only got 10 times worse. And like my neighbors experienced the side effects. One of my neighbors had to actually go through a medical process because they had trouble with their lungs, and I can guarantee that it was from vaccination. But I am not saying that those people who got vaccinated are wrong or that they are stupid. That's definitely not the case. Like, they did the right thing that they thought at the time was right. So I'm definitely not here to judge them. But I am mainly talking about the system, about the fact that they are using people as animals. Like, I don't even know what to say. It's just ridiculous. How can something like this be happening? How can people allow it? And what I wanted to mention, I kind of forgot to mention it, is that people who got vaccinated are just not thinking critically, and they don't even consider the fact that it could be, or those problems which they have could be or could have been caused by the vaccinations. Like, all I want is them to understand and at least take it into consideration that it could have been from that. But it's most of the time not the case. But just to end this video, things like this will start to get shared on the internet, throughout the media. Even the news are starting to talk about the fact that COVID could have been created in a lab, which is pretty interesting, considering that people who were skeptical about it in the past were almost considered as lunatics. So it's just something thought-provoking which I wanted to share with you. And you might have a completely opposite opinion than me, and I'm not here to change your opinion. I'm just stating mine. And I'm definitely not hating on you if you have a different opinion. And I hope that this video was valuable in any kind of way. And I just wanted to share that things will basically change. I don't know what will happen. Things are already happening basically, and so we just have to be prepared for that. If you are like me and you understand a few things, how they are happening in the background, then I hope that we will manage to go through it unscathed, and I wish you the best of luck and the best of anything that I can wish you. And so if you are interested and you want to watch something else, then you can watch this video next. But I never realized how big my hands are actually in the video.